Okay, so let's continue from what we have discussed last week, and a little bit more there to discuss with the same data sheet, and then we will start working on the new sheet. Okay, right. So what we did in the last week is we were working on a PDF file so that we completely pulled from our data sheets, and we took the data from the PDF file and we worked on it. And there was an Excel file. From there also, we took some data. And today we will be talking about a little bit more that we can do with the same data set. So I'm going to take the same data set, which I took last week. Okay, so it is the same Excel file. So and one table which we missed, that was the first table which we have here. So I'm going to take the item mask table as well, okay, which I'm going to transform. Okay. So let's understand this table, right? So you have to understand, you have to know your data before you process it, and even before you pre-process it. So let me open up the data and I'll explain to you what is this table so that we can easily, we can know what we can do with the other data sets, right? With how we can link it. Now, but if you go to the sales tool, okay, and if we go to the items that we have, product and the product category and the product name, these are two numbers that we have, right? So it's not making any sense. If you see the, if we see our chart, even the chart has only numbers and we doesn't make much sense, right? So in some of the ERP systems, if you extract certain reports, it will give you the category IDs, right? Not the employer or not the actual names of the items. Actual names of the items are stored in a different table in a slightly different manner, right? So if you see this table has the item details. For example, here we have the category ID and the category name, for example. So here, if we see number 1 is appliance, number 2 is clothing, number 3 is electronics. Same thing we will have here as well. Okay. So if you see number 1, 2, 3, and again there are 1, 2, 3 in the product name. So these two links we can match it together. Right. Now, how we can take this data to the other day table? Last week we discussed with the salary table, where how we can take the salary from salary table to the salesperson detail table, right? Using a common value. So this is the same thing that we are going to use in order to get the product category to the sales table. Okay. Now, listen carefully. So this is again, I'm going to explain to you something we did last week, and we are going to do it again. Now, if I want to match, if I want to take, for example, this is again like the VLOOKUP. We want to get the data to this table. So I'm going to select this table first, and then I'm going to go to the merge queries, right? I'm going to merge the query together to get the table records. Now, I'm going to get the records to the sales table from item master table. Okay, so to get the record to the sales table from item master table. Now I'm going to match the columns. I'm going to match the product category column with the product category column here, right? Now, if you notice, it is giving me, it's not letting me click OK, because product category here and product category here are, I have selected everything properly. I have selected the first table, I have selected the second table correctly, and I have matched the columns, but it's not letting me click OK. But Luckily, Power BI is giving me a error message, what kind of a mistake that I am making here. So it's saying select a column of the type, number, text, etc. to continue. Okay, select the column of the same type, right? Let's do a small investigation and to further analyze this one. So that means they are saying the type should be the same. Okay, in order to match the two, you have to have the same data type as well. So if in here we have the type as text, which is ABC, and if I go to master table here, I have the category ID as a number. So number and a text Power BI cannot match. So again, you don't have to buy hard this role, right? So while you are doing it, last week we didn't have this problem, but now we understand this concept, so we can go one step further to little bit more complicated things. So in the exam or when you are doing it, you might match this one and you try to match the second one. And okay, now I want to match product category and category ID here. But now when I try to press OK, it is not coming. Okay, simply you can review this error message. So it is very user friendly. We call it a user friendly error message. If when an error message is easy to read and understand, right? So this is easy to read and understand. And here in this area, they are giving you what kind of a issue that we have. The issue that we have is the same type. If you select the column of the same type. Now, for example, if in case if I select here, it will be okay because the Power BI does not know the values, but it knows these two tables are or these two columns are data types are matching. Right? If I select this and this, still it will say it is matching. It will try to do some kind of a matching, but we know it is wrong, right? So we have to select the correct columns, okay? But we can't click OK because the data types are not matching. So let's match the data type. So either we can change this to a number, text, or this to a text. So I prefer changing this to a text. Add a new step. And now let's try again. Product category. I'm going to merge the queries. This item master category. Now it says all okay. So, and it's giving you a heads up also. This selection matches 104 rows of 104 from the second table. So for each row from the first table, each of the 104 rows of the first table, there is a matching value from the second table. That means all the rows in here will have a matching value from here. So even that is giving you a comfort message also. It is informing you that you are matching everything correctly. Right. Once I do that, now again, I'm going to expand. So this time I'm not going to select everything. I'm going to select only this value. I'm going to only this column. I don't need anything else because everything else is duplicating. And so I'm going to click OK. Right. Again, one more time, I'll show you. So here now, after selecting that, the new column will be added, but it's not the right value. So I'm going to expand and I'm going to select the product category which I need. Right now, okay, so can you guys try this one, please? So along with your work. I'll give you 1 minute just to try that. So since we tried this last week also, so I'm not gonna spend much time here, right? I'll show you one more thing that we can do with this. So what I'm going to do is, okay, some of you has already done, good. I'm gonna show one more thing. I'm gonna update the second category also to a text, right? And I'll show you one more thing which we can do. right? Now, since we have two characters or two columns here, okay, so both of these should match. So in product category 3, there is a product name number 3. In product category 3, there is a product name number 2. Likewise, there are matching things are here. So I'm not now we can do one more step ahead, which is a bit more complicated, might not require for your exam, but just for your information, I can tell you that you can match multiple columns as well. So match this one and this one. And again, now I'm going to click this, this and this with the, you have to hold your shift key, right? I'll show you again. Go to merge queries. Now I'll select the second table also, right? Now I'm going to select the product category, which is the first one. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to select the product name. So as you can see, there is a 1 and 2 which is coming here. Earlier it was only 1, right? So earlier there is no numbers, only one column was selected. Now if I want to match this and this together with these two columns, I can select this one and hold the shift key and select the second one, right? Okay. And then same way, I have to select the second columns also, not in the reverse order, not 2 and 1. I have to select the same way. I have to select this one and shift and then the, sorry. Not the shift press, you have to click the control key and the second one. Okay, so click the control key, product category and product name, and then again in the second column, product category and the product product category ID and the product ID. Right. So in order, you have to click on the control key and select both, and control key and select both. Then what will happen? Both of them will match together and then give you a value. So in this case, you can select both of them at once as a single, in a single selection. You can select them both together. Okay. And if you want only the product name, now I can match them and I can select only the product name. So whatever the data you need, you can match it and get the data. Right. Okay, so this level of complexity will not get it for the exam, but in the exam you might get a single column to match, right? Like we discussed last week, take the salary from that column to this column, or take the employee ID or some value from the second one to this column. So today what I was giving you, there are more options which you can do, which you can try, and which you can do with the Power BI options are there, right? So okay. Right. One more thing which we can do with the same data set is taking the salaries and the bonuses to this separate column, right? And from the salary details plus the sales details. So if you do not need to know, we'll do it in a new data set. Okay. With that, we can end this data set. I'll close this off. I'm not going to apply those changes, so no need anymore. So today we'll go with the next data set. Now I want to pay this part. This is okay. Right. So once you are done with one question in the exam and you want to go for the next question, right? So let's I showed you last week there were multiple questions in the exam paper, and each one has a different sheet and different data set, right? So when you're going for the next question, CMA, they prefer you to save it in a start it in a new file. Okay? So one of the things that you can do is after one question is over, you can close it and open it again as a new one, which might take some time because the whole Power BI should close and start again. So instead of that, once you are done with the first question or you are done at least whatever that you can do in the first question, you can go to file and open create a new one from here. Okay, so you can create a new one from here. If not, what you can do is, if you have already done that, you can directly open up another file, right, which is already done. Then you can open the previous file as it is, or you can create a new report from here as well. Okay, let me create a new one. So this is a new option which I have received. Slightly the UI stays in this month version, but let me see. Open properly. And another thing, guys, when the Power BI is loading, don't try to click it or try to press some buttons or saying something. Just give it a few seconds and wait until you know what is it is doing, because if not, it will get stuck, right? So you also might know when you're working in Excel or Word or something, once it is heavy, it tries to get slow, and if you click here and there, the whole page will go blank and get stuck. Same thing will happen here, because Power BI is a slightly heavy application. You might have to give a few seconds or minutes until it is properly loaded. Okay. And still it is loading, so you have to wait a few more seconds. It looks like it is still loading. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the old one. So once my previous question is done, I'm going to close that question and I'm going to start the work in a new question, a new sheet. Save the changes, don't save. But in your case, you have to save it at the end of the work. Okay, remember to save. And as I said, when you start a new sheet, before doing anything, make sure the first thing you have to do is save the file. Okay, I'm going to save the file as in the desktop, or you can always go to the browse from this PC at the bottom, browse from this device, and then I will save my correctly in the desktop. There should be a student folder, and I'm going to save it the correct name. Okay. Question 3 or question 2 or question 4, likewise, I'm going to save it. Okay. Right. Once you save it, as you can see on the top left corner, it will give you the saved file name. What is the file name? So you know which is saved properly or not. Okay. So until you're doing this, just take your time a bit slow, because if you click something before the Power BI loads, whole thing might this whole thing might crash, and the laptop might get stuck, and you might have to use the task manager to delete delete Power BI and reopen it, or you might have to restart the PC. So that might take some time, right? But they're assuming all these delays when you are preparing the exam timing, so you might not run into a significant issue there, right? They are keeping time for that as well. For the technical difficulties, they are keeping some time, buffer times. But so still, you don't have to waste that time as well. So you just give some time until the file is loaded, right? So here today we will do the third data sheet. So I will post this file in Slack. Okay, you can download it. This is the same file set. It is very small files, which I have shared to you earlier. You can download from the drive, or you can download it from the chat. So let me open one file and we'll start working on that file. I'll open one file and I will go through that. Okay. So here we have some production data for the month of January, and the date is there. We have some numbers. Okay. So This is again more like a production date, manufacturing production report, right? So there again, a product number, product is there, quantity produced, raw material cost, labor, man-hour cost, overhead, all those costs are there. The month is there, which month is it? It's January or February, which month? Then there is some number which may be not useful at all. Then there's a country, and maybe this is the salesperson or person who requested, or maybe the production manager or someone's name, right? Okay, so this is again a new data set, guys. So we have to start with a new question, always start with a new file. Okay. If you go to the second date of February, again, something very similar. Okay, so there's no header but this time, but they have the all the other data, all the other records are here. So if I go to the third one, okay, March also same. So in the here, the March they have merged and centered. This is 5. Okay, let's see how we can do this one in Power BI. And in February, let's see in February how they are. In February, they have written only on the first one as well, and the other things are not there, but still it's fine. We'll see how we can go around this in Power BI. Okay, so I'm going to close the reports. So like I said, every time when you have a new data set, just take few seconds or a minute to understand the data, to feel the data, right? Because when you do that, it will be easy for you to understand it. So then there is a image which is called background. Maybe it is to set it as the background image of the data file. Okay. Now let's get the data. So all this time we were taking data from the Excel file. So again, there is another way of doing it, which is extracting the data from the folder, right? So for now, it might be a little complicated. So today we will go with this option, same option. But after maybe tomorrow, when the next session, next class, next week or Sunday class, we will try to get all the data from the folder itself, from directly from the folder, how we can get data to a file from the old folder. So it includes few extra steps, right? So today we will not do a bit more complicated activity. Today we will be focusing a little bit more straightforward. So I'll take January data sheet, open it. There's only one sheet is there, so I'm going to select it and load it and transform it. Now, so one of the first things that you might have noticed is the column names are not properly populated. So the table name or the report name has come as column 1, and there are a few black lines, and here we have the column name, right? So we have to format that one properly. And after formatting that, we have to change the date format here, uh, this one, and we have to do some updates here as well. Okay. I want you to, okay, I will show you today. So from next class onwards, I'll ask you to do it for me. Now we have to remove some rows. So first 3 rows, we have to remove. How to remove the rows is part of the, under the reduce rows section, we have the remove rows. And then now we have the option of remove top rows. So now let's see if we have any null in the bottom. No, we don't have. So we don't have to remove the bottom rows. We have to remove only the top rows. So I'm going to click on remove top rows. and it will ask me, okay, it will ask me, specify how many rows to remove from the top. So I want to remove 3 rows from the top. So excluding the header is not a table, okay. So the column header is not a row. So from these 3 rows that we have, so I'm going to mention 3 rows from the top. We need the this row which has the header detail. We need that. Okay? If not, we can remove 4 and we can rename it manually one by one, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to remove the 3 rows. Click OK. And now I'm going to promote this row as the header. So either I can click here, or from here we have the option of use the first row as header. Both are same. There is no difference in which option you use. I'm going to use the first row as a header. Once I use the first row as a header, OBI automatically changes certain things as the data types. Okay, if you're accepting that, you can keep it, but still it is best if you go through the data types and understand and fix it. So this is a data type and no problem with this. Um, you may use this option to see if the values are okay, right? Right, okay, this is fine, no errors, no issues. If you go to the product, okay, there are 3 distinct products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to a text. Add a new step. Quantity is fine, is a whole number. Raw material is related to money, so I'm going to mark it as currency. Man hours, this is number of hours. Overhead expenses, this is the in currency. Machine ID, so this is a machine name, so I'm going to change it to a text. Now, I hope you know why I'm changing a machine ID to a text. So this is like a machine name, which we don't know point of adding all these numbers together, which doesn't make sense, right? So I'm going to use it as a number. Quality rating, this is maybe like we have how many, 5 different characters. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you can use it to get averages or something. Either if in that case you can leave it as it is. If you want to see categorically, you want to see how many products are coming under 4, how many are 5. You can have to leave it like that. Now you have to understand this quality rating. In quality rating, you might do some mathematical operations. Like I want to get the average quality of this set of products. So let's say I'm filtering from product A. I want to know what is the average rating of that. I use the product B. I want to know the average of product B. So if you want to get the average quality, then you have to leave it like a number, right? So this one will leave it like a number. This no need this one. So okay, we'll leave it as it is. Here we'll leave it as it is, and this one. So okay, right? Okay, I want you to update this one and let me know once you are done. Okay. So I did not ask you to do much last week, yesterday, because it was a short day. And today I want you to do along with me, and I need a lot of responses and make sure that everybody is participating properly along with the session. Okay. Right. So do this part, get the data from the file, and do this few transformation which I'm supposed to do, and then come up to this point. Okay. I will pause the recording, and we'll see how it goes. Rename your name, Zoom name with the CMA ID. Okay, so right, so let's go back and dig a bit more. Okay, one of the easiest thing which we can, one of the things which we can do here is that now let's assume that the country which is missing is Sri Lanka. So we have USA, UAE, India, and number one is missing. So right, again, so there are multiple things that we can do if there are any missing records. Okay, one is you can ignore this record, right? You can just simply filter it and ignore the blank record. Okay, that is one thing which you can do, right? So remove the blank. So unhide the blank, and that's it. So by this way, what will happen is that whatever the records which are available, other details, other lines will also get removed. That is common sense, which we already know. Okay? So this is one way of handling the missing or null values, right? But if we know that, okay, one is Sri Lanka, so what is the country? So in these two are, it seems that these two are linked together, right? Zero is USA, three is UAE. If you see three, five, filter three, it's all UAEs. Okay. In this case, in case if we know that, okay, reasonably assume that last week we assumed that, okay, if there is no discount, we renamed it to a what do you call zero value. That is a reasonable assumption because we know the data. Okay, so your voice is breaking. Let me check. Is the voice okay now or still the same? If it's not okay, let me know. Drop on the volume. No, okay. Give me a second. How about now? Is it okay? Can someone confirm if my voice is okay or still the same? Okay.
Now it's like a little bit okay, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you. I noticed there's one person who is joining in and leaving. Okay, left again. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so if we know, so I was talking about this column. So if we know a reasonably assume a good value for this, right? So it's in your data, right? So maybe if you have the month is missing and you know if the month exactly is this, then you can replace the month value with something. Or if you see that, okay, the whole row is empty or only one or two values are there which are not very meaningful, then you can remove the whole row, right? In this case, in the exam, they might say, okay, you do a suitable operation. Then it is easily, if you can assume, okay, this is all these things are countries and this missing country might be Sri Lanka. In that case, we can do a replace. So replace means we are going to change the values in this column. So that is a transformation. And you can go for the under transformation, we have the replace value. So in the replace value, but I'm not going to type anything here. I'm going to type the country name, let's say Sri Lanka. Okay. Okay. Sri Lanka. Okay, so I'm going to type Sri Lanka here, press OK, and all the blanks will be updated with the Sri Lanka, the country name. Okay, and I'm going to remove this column because I don't know what doesn't make any sense with this column, so I'm gonna remove this. And also in the column 13, column 12, it looks like a salesperson name or something, let's say employee name, so I'm gonna write employee name. Okay, so the other things are fine. I'm going to apply this one, so I'm not going to close it here, so I'm just going to apply. So this part, I think it is pretty straightforward. So I'm not going to show it to you again. So we'll do something. We'll do some calculated columns. We'll do some calculations in this, like we did last week. We'll do a bit more calculations here. Okay. Right. So if you see here, again, guys, in the exam, they'll let you know what exactly you should do. But for now, for the practice of this session, we will do some work here. Okay. So let's take this column, right? In here, as we know, so there is product 1, product numbers are 2, and product numbers are 3. If you review this one, it says 3 distinct values. So that means 3 types of value or 3 different values are there. Okay, and the product names are given 1, 2, 3. Instead of this, what we can do is we can put some meaningful names here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 does not make much sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some changes here, right? So instead of 1, I'm going to use, let's say, pen. Instead of 2, I'm going to use book, and 3, I'm going to rename it as pencil. Okay? So let's say this is a production company, and these are the 3 product names. And you can assume any different products also. It's fine. It's up to you. So whatever the products that you are thinking you can think of, you can rename those things. Now, if I want to do that, so one of the things which I can do, I can easily click here and I can go to replace value. I can say find 1 and replace with. Okay. And I'm going to do another one, replace value, find 2 and replace it. It is pen, so let's say. And I'm going to do another replace value, find 3, pencil. Right? This is done. So here I have renamed to 3 columns based on the product. Now, if we have a separate table with the product ID and the product name, we know we can do a merging and then we can get the record from the second table, right? That is one option. Second option is replacing the product one by one. That is the second option. The third option is we can do a conditional column. So I'm going to remove those. So again, replacing value is a straightforward thing which you can do it by default. So the new thing which I'm going to learn is adding a conditional value. If the product ID is 1, then this. If the product ID is 2, then if the product ID is not a replace, it is adding a conditional column. So we have something called here conditional column. Now, it is not a custom column because it's not based on a formula. Of course, you can do a complicated, the formula in this, right? Which is possible. We will see how the condition comes in this language. If not, what we can do as a conditional column. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a conditional column. So when we can use conditional column, even in the exam, if they're saying you have to add a column, if the numbers are this, then it is this, else it is that. So when you say something like that, if the average student mark is above 75, then he is pass. If else he is fail. Now this is a conditional column. Now if you are going to replace them, then if we are going to, let's say, if the quality is more than 50, then it's a good quality. If the quality is less than, else it is bad quality. So in that case, we can't replace every character one by one. So we have to replace one with bad quality, two with bad quality, three with bad quality, which is a very hard thing to do, right? So because there is literally 100 lines here. Okay, but in this case, replacing might be, you might feel it easy. Okay, rather than going to one by one, it's replacing is easy, right? So because we have only three. But if you say this one, if above 75 or above 50, I want to have a column. If the quality rating is above 50, then it is good. It is below 50, it is bad. Now, in this case, we can't do one by one replace. We have to have another option. So in case of conditional formatting or in conditional columns, okay, if you can build a logic with a condition and using some columns, then you can use a conditional column. Okay, that is the use of conditional column. So I'll go to the conditional column and I'll explain to you slowly and how we can use this. Now, it might look complicated at first, but let's observe this and then you will easily understand this. So it is like I said, guys, don't get confused or don't get complicated. This program is built for non-technical users to use, right? So you don't need to know any programming languages knowledge in order to use this application, right? So first thing they're asking is the column name. Okay, so I'm going to name the column name as the product name. Okay, now starting from here, if, right, there is an if part. If the column name, let's say I'm going to add the product, right? If product equals, now we have to give a value, then 1. Now read again. If product equals 1, then what is the output that we need? It is a pen. Okay, where will be this output will go to under this column. Okay, now I will do only one formula and only one condition, and I'll click OK, and we can see here, and I'll drag it to here next to that. Yeah, so it's easier, right? Now what did I do? If I use the one formula, now as you can see, it is automatically replaced everything with one as a new column, which is the product name column. Okay, now let me go back to the same formula again, right? So how to do some editing. If you made some mistake, like I said, you can click on this the column, and then I can click here to go to the edit button, right? Now I will explain to you again. So I'm going to add the conditional column. The column name is product name, and we can tell like a story, right? Or like a sentence. If product equals 1, then it is the output should be, then it is a pen. I'm going to add another clause. Else if not, if the product equals 2, then it is a book. Third one, if product equals 3, then it is pencil. Okay, now I'm going to click OK. So there is an else clause, or that is also sometimes it's useful. If it is 1, then book. If it is 2, then pen and book. Let me delete this. So if you want to delete something, you made a mistake, no worries. Click on these 3 dots and delete. Right now, if now let's read from the beginning. So if product equals 1, then pen. Else if product equals 2, then it is book. If you know there's only 2 values, the third value is always, anything else. So in here we are using only 2 values. So anything else, this is not else, this is like a anything else. So there can be a 3, 4, 5. Tomorrow they might put another 10 items. Whatever it is, if you know the common name, then you can use it here, right? But in this case, let's use it as a final if product equals 3, then it is a pencil. Either I can leave it as a null or I can leave it as a other. Okay, so any other items, you can use it as this. So I'm gonna name it as others and click OK. Right now, if I go back to the ordered column, I will see everything is nicely formatted. Right? This is a very small use case, guys. So in this case, one might argue, okay, so rather than doing this, it was very easy for me to replace the value. Yes, like I said in early also, for the same action, you can have multiple ways of doing it, right? You can have multiple methods of doing it. Whichever is easy for you, you can do. That doesn't mean you should know, you should not learn the other methods as well. So conditional column will be useful. We will see in the upcoming sessions as well why the conditional columns are useful. Okay. Now, if you are going for a formula for this one, so this is the formula that you have to type. Okay. And if not, if you are going for a custom column, still there is an option to do it using a custom column as well. Again, don't get confused with this. This you might not need it. In case if you are using a custom column, there is if formulas in here as well. If product equals 1, then it is within square bracket something you have to type, then something like this you have to type it, right? Rather than remembering this order of these, then you have to know what is to how to put this one. If it is a text, then you have to have a inverted commas here. If it is a number, then you can leave the number as it is. Those kinds of things you have to remember. Like then again, one might say, okay, remembering that it is a technical thing. So no need to go through all these things. If there are things related to if conditions, you can easily yes. So if it is, you can easily use a conditional column. So in conditional column, what happens is the Power BI automatically writes this formula. See, for example, if product equal 1, then pen, else if product equal 2, then book, else if this, then this. So this whole thing, it is writing on behalf of you using some button clicks. So this is called the advantage of using Power BI. So you don't have to remember any of those formulas. It will automatically do the formula for you. I want you to try this option and let me know if you are succeeded. You have to get exactly, you can use any other product, no problem. So no need to use the same thing. You can use any other product, but you have to get the output properly. Okay. Try this and let me know if you have any problems. I need a couple of more people to complete. So complete it and let me know.
So in the conditional formatting, how to add the another condition, sir?
Okay, so there's an option here, add clause. Okay, button and then a new line will come. You can click any number of times. But before click OK, just make sure to put it all and then delete if have added it.
After saving this one, so again we want to see the this table again. So is there any way to go back to see
Good. Yes.
the add column?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's say you made a mistake or you made a typing error or something like that, and you want to get back to this one. If you click again, one thing is okay, you can delete that column and do it again. This is one option, but no need to do that. There is a way to edit. Okay? So in the applied steps on the left side, you will have a you remember the order, then before the last thing I did added conditional column. It will say added conditional column. Next to this, there is a small button here. That's the button. Click and you have to click on that. If you click on that, it will open the thing that you changed. Okay, try that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
I have a small question
Yes.
regarding this replacing value where we have selected number 1 in column 10 and replaced with the country Sri Lanka. Once it is done, again, how to go back to the old data? I mean, the rest of the numbers are not appearing.
The numbers are not appearing. Did you filter it or no?
Yeah, filtered and done.
Okay, all right, that is the problem. Okay, we can do. You have to go back to the filter and remove the filter off, right? So if you are replacing, okay, you don't have to filter and replace. You can directly replace, and Power BI will automatically find only the blanks and replace it. Okay, so let me show you what you did there, and
Okay, maybe that is the reason.
yeah.
When I
So
filtered and replaced, the
if
rest
you
have not.
right. After replacing, if you let me show you what you did. For example, you replaced number 1, which is Sri Lanka, and then uh, now you can see here there's a filtered value. If you go here, you can unfilter, which is fine, right? So this is you have this option. You can add another one. But if you do any other activity, anything else, let's say for example, I change this to a number. This is a step that I'm going to do on something, another transformation. Now it is adding another step here. So I change the data type for the third time. Now if I go back, I will not have those filtered data because Power BI at each step, it is using, it's transforming your data, it's changing your raw data. It's not changing your raw data, it's changing the what you do to your raw data. Okay, so now if you go back, you will not have the filter. So one of the things that you can do is you can go to this settings button again next to the filtered row, and you can if you have made, if you know exactly what is the thing that you did, and you can unselect it, or you can add all the other things, or likewise, or else you can delete this, go to the filtered row, and then click down. Okay, you have to download it. You have to go to that data, and then you have to select all. This is useful. The filtering rows, which will useful. Let's say, for example, you have a whole the data for the whole your international sales, but today your focus is, let's say, you have a presentation and you want only the data related to Sri Lanka. In that case, you can just easily filter it. You don't have to delete the rest of the data. You can filter it. It is almost like deleting the records, and you can proceed with your dashboards and everything. And even though the raw data has international sales, your dashboard will have only the filtered sales. Okay. So if you want to get all the data back, you have to delete the steps and go back to the data set, and then you have to get that back. Right. So,
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Couple of you have done it. Good. So I hope everybody did with the conditional column. Conditional columns are not very
Excuse me, sir.
complicated. Yes.
So when I'm doing this conditional formatting, the product this name comes everything same like a pencil. So I have sent a screenshot out of that.
Okay. So where is this? Oh, in WhatsApp here. Okay, let me check. Oh, you cannot get everything as pencil. Earlier you had 1, 2, 3 and mixed together, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you keep your date column and the new column and the old data column side by side? Like this, and send me a screenshot, this and this. Side by side, and send me a screenshot or a picture on WhatsApp. We'll check that.
Okay, let me try. Let me try.
So, okay, so let's move on with this, and same thing we can do for machine ideas. Now, I think for in this case, we have 4 machines, right? So it is a bit more complicated now. So I'll quickly add 4 machine here. So machine name, machine location, no, machine name is fine. So let's say machine ID is equals 1, then a can use anything now to be here machine ID equals 3, then machine ID minus 4, 3, 4. Right. So I just added another column. Just for you to practice and get to know about the conditional columns. Okay, I hope you did with conditional columns. So this is also okay. Right. So quality rating also you can use the same thing. So let's say for quality rating, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a slightly different column. So this is quality rating. I will use this is as okay, I'm going to rename this one as quality. And I'm going to add a new column, quality rating. So in here, I'm going to use slightly different one. Okay. If the quality, so in this point, let's say now we have 5 quality, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. In the quality, now as if you click on this drop down, now we have lots of options here. So earlier we said, okay, exactly. If it is 1 means this, 2 means that. Okay. Even for the machine, I know 1 means this, 2 means that. Now for the quality, what I'm going to use is, if it is greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to anything which you can use. If it is greater than or equal to 3, then I'm going to use it as a good, right? Else, okay, I'm not going to use another column here. Else, I'm going to use it as a bad, right? If it is like 1 to 1 or 2, it is bad. And in here we have the other operators as well. So you just have to read through the line. So if quality is greater than or quality, this number from the quality is greater than or equal to 3, then it is good. Else it is bad. Okay. Likewise, you can do conditional columns as well. So we have a bad here and bad in between. 1 and 2 will be marked as bad. And tomorrow, if the management says no, if it is 1, 1, 2, or 3, it is bad, then I can easily go here. I can go as a 1, 2, and 3 are bad. So only 4 and 5 are good. So I can change it to 4 and 5 as good. So now we have a little bit good and bad as well. Right. Now use this option as well. So, and then you can move it around and then let me know if you have any concerns. So don't write one by one. So if one is good, then good like that. So use the greater than or equal to or less than or you can use both sides. Okay, you can use the say quality is less than or equal to 3, then it is bad, else good. That is also possible. Both ways. Do this one and let me know. And if you have any questions. good. This is good. Okay. Now now try to edit it and change 3 to bad. Okay. Now I hope you know how to do that. So we go to that button next to the step and click there and then change it to 3 also as a bad. Try that if you are getting it exactly like me. So you have to know how to edit as well. In case even in the exam, if you made a mistake, then you should know how to edit it rather than deleting everything and start doing it again. Okay.
Then should we remove the previous column?
Yes, if you don't want it anymore, you can remove it. But keep the quality column because we can do some average calculations there. And when you're doing some dashboards, we can do some average calculations there. You keep this one and remove the other ones if you don't. If you are not going to use that column and if it is a redundant column, you can definitely delete it. No problem with that. Okay. So that is about conditional columns. So you can use any type of things. Okay. So even for these things, you can use conditional columns. So if I select, let's say, product name, I will go to the last step and then insert another one. Okay. So if I can even select the names here. So here, if you select a text value, then it will slightly different. So it begins with, ends with, contains, does not contain. It's something similar to what we have in Excel filter, right? So if the product name contains or equals to 10, then you can do something. If it is something else, then you can do something else. Okay. So if it is this is a product name, as you can see here, it is a text value. Okay. So it is a text. So the operators or the options that you have are related to text. If you select a number based something which is quantity, okay, then it is a number. So it is giving you a number based operators. Okay, both options are there. You can write down. Okay, so let's move on. So we'll add some calculated columns as well. So today we'll focus on the calculated columns. So guys, remember this is a very okay. So this is a very important part. You will ask to add conditional columns. You will ask to add conditional column in your exam. Okay, right. So we'll do a calculated column. We have a quantity, we have a raw material cost, manpower, weight, expense, and machine hour. So let's take, do we have a selling price? I don't think we have a selling price. So let's take the total cost. Okay. So you have these numbers here. Let me take an Excel. I'll put the formula and I want you to take the final figures as well. And after taking the final figures, I want you to build a dashboard with few widgets by yourself. Cost is equals to, we have the raw material cost plus overhead manpower multiply by, let's assume the manpower rate is 100 rupees and overhead expenses. Okay, so this is the formula for the cost, right? Assume the man-hour rate is 100, and then you can take the overhead expenses and you can take the total cost, right? And we have a unit cost also. So let's say we'll add another column as unit cost is equal to total cost divided by quantity. Where we had the quantity. Okay, it's a big numbers. Hope it will be correct. So let's try that one as well. Products. Okay. Okay, here I'll rename the country to country. Okay. And then you add these two columns and one, and this is the second column, and add visualization, add the title, header, logo, background, 5 widgets, or no, 6 widgets. 6 widgets or tiles or graphs, and then we'll do slicer based on quality of the quality product slicer. Okay, now try these activities and see other screenshots, and we'll try how we can do. I'll give you 10-15 minutes to do this. So you have to add 2 columns, and then you have to apply and close this, and go to the visualization, add a heading, logo, background image, and add 6 widgets, different types of widgets. So you have to add a quality-based widget. You have to add, you can add the product name, employee name based, something machine-based widget, few widgets, and add the product name slicer, a slicer with the product name. Okay, and we'll continue after another 10-15 minutes. If there is any problems in between, you can just let me know. Yes, we can give multiple conditions at once, so that's why we add new clause, new line. So if this is this, then that, then likewise we can add multiple clause. What it is? Okay. Okay. If there is anything, let me know. Okay, drop a message. Let me know if you are done. We will continue in another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. If you're done, let me know if you will continue in 2 to 3 minutes. Sorry, I was on mute for some time. Right, so let's continue. I hope you can hear my voice. Okay. Right, so we'll add these two formulas or the columns, and with that, I hope we will be done with this one here. Good. This is really good. Good. Yeah, so really good. Well done. Right. So let me add a few more columns. So this, okay, so these two are not conditional columns. So these are formula-based columns. So that is the difference now you have to know. So if there is a column which is based on a condition or like if then like that, then you have to use conditional column. If not, you can use just a custom column, which is formula-based column. Right. I'll add the custom column here. So the column name is cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to directly onto the keyboard. So raw material cost plus man hours multiplied by 100 plus overhead expenses. Done. Okay. Added a custom column. Prefer to change it to a number. Okay, so one of the best practice is change the data type also. Okay, good job. Good. Right. So second one is unit cost. So when you see a unit cost, it is only two values. Maybe you might have used this option, but I don't. I mean, it's no. You don't have to go remember different options. So we'll go with the same standard custom column option. So custom column, it is unit cost equals to cost, which is the same column which we used earlier, divided the new column which we created. We are using that column to create new column. That is also possible. Okay. Cost divided by quantity. Click OK. Right now, I will change it to fixed decimal numbers. These are the two changes to here, so nothing else. Let's go and apply and close. Right. So let me know the progress, guys, if you have done anything on the dashboard. Let's see how you have done. Sorry guys, I think I was speaking on mute for some time. Right, so I hope this part is clear. So adding these two, it is clear. Now let's add the background. Okay, so how to add the background? I have to go to, I have to click on a blank canvas space. Okay, I have to click on a blank canvas space. I have to click on this format option, then canvas background, and I have to select. Now, even though you select it, it is not visible here. That is important. It's not a mistake of yours, right? So it doesn't show. I added the background, it is not showing. It is not a mistake. By default, the transparency is 100. That means it is fully transparent. You can't see it. You have to adjust the transparency. Okay. So just the transparency to a suitable amount. So it's maybe it will look nicer. Okay, that's it, right? How to do it? If you want to add the text box or image, you have to go to insert and you have to insert the text box and images. If you want to add a background, you have to click on a blank space, not double click. If you double click, it will open the Q&A, which is not required. So you click on a blank space, go to background, go to format and select your background. Okay, go to format, select your background image from here, and then you can select whether normal fit or fill or whatever is the type that you want, and make sure to change the transparency. If you don't change the transparency, you will not be able to see it. Okay, right, now we have to add 6 widgets. So, and here we have the data, right? Again, I have not renamed it, so I'm going to rename it from here. This is the production. Okay, right. So now I'm going to add the pie chart, maybe tree map. Okay, the line graph is required. Okay, let's add a line graph as usual. Okay, and add the date and the production quantity. Okay, so let's go down. Okay, now. Okay, so now this is the January production data. Right now in here, one thing you can notice, guys. So every time you might have to do this. So if I go up to the level, this is the annual record. So there is no way that this report is going to have a different records here. So no point of having this level. Even if I go to the second level, if I go to down to the second level, there are no quarters, there are no multiple quarters, right? And if I go to the next level, there's only 1 month, but it's fine. But only in the last level, we have the dates. So in this case, we can remove those drill levels. Okay, how to remove this? So as you can see here, we have year, month, date, and quarter. So I'm going to remove year, month, and then keep it only the month and quarter. If you don't want the month also, I can remove the month. So then it is always be the annual or the day rate on, right? So if you want to get it back, let's say you mistakenly do that. Okay, I know I need everything. You can just unselect and reselect again. By the everything will come. It's not that you are deleting those records. For this specific widget, we are saying that I don't need those records. Maybe I will create a separate widget with annual trend, which is a different one. But for this specific widget, I don't need the annual, monthly, and quarterly records. So I can keep only one line. Okay. Right. So let's add the 2 more widgets, and I will add okay, we have got a stack column chart with employee name and put the product name, and this is the quantity. So this is, let's say, okay, and then the cost, right? And I'm going to add another pie chart. with employee name and then the product cost. With employee name and almost same, everybody's saying the same amount. So the machine ID. So each machine name and the quality rating here. Right? So, so as you can see, it is the sum of quality. So if you want the average quality number, you can take it, but I think it will be all same. So average, so taking the sum. That means machine A and machine C, everything is providing almost same. So by this area, you can see who has the highest. Likewise, you can see the slicer with the product name, and by default it will come like this. It will like change it now. Okay, let me show you some of one more thing. If I can add another stacked column chart. I will change this one. Okay, now into the same column, okay, in the column, I can break it down into more things. So we have the product name and the cost. Let me, if I add the machine hour to the legend, so what will happen is it will give you a sub breakdown. So it will give you the same. Okay, for books, right? So we have the books and the values, and it will show you the machine names also. From machine A, you have this much. From machine B, you have this much. Machine C, this much, and machine D, this much. So this is more like a legend, right? So this also option you can use it if you want it. If you don't want it, you can have it as sum, which is a very simple value. This is used, let's say, like a area-wise customer sales, like customer and the area. So it will break into multiple regions. Or if you change it to a different column chart, this is stacked, not 100%, just a stacked column chart. Now, if you add the legend, the same line will break into multiple. Now, you might understand the difference between this one and this column. So, clustered column chart and the stacked column chart. If you have the stacked column chart, you can have one. So, if you have only one of them, there is no difference between these. Let me show you side by side. And I'll explain to you. Side by side. Let me make a copy of this and change it to a stack column chart. So this one, the first one, it is a clustered column chart, and the second one is a stacked column chart, right? Let's say you want to go into a detail level. So you have this data ready, this is okay, but you want to more, you want to get a bit more detailed levels, right? Okay, you want to get a bit more details. So what we can do is we can add another detail into the same column chart, right? Let's say I'm going to add the machine name. So what I'm going to do for the first one, I'm going to put the machine name in the legend. And the second one, so it will change like this. So one of these columns has been broken down into multiple parallel columns, right? So one after another, they have kept it in a vertical manner. So this is vertically arranged the details. If you go for the second option, which is the stacked column chart, and if I add it, machine names, it will give you the horizontally to break the columns. So one more thing is there. I'll show you that one also. So we'll be completing that section also with the same. I'll make a copy of this. Okay. And I will remove the ledger. Okay. And then it is 100% stacked column chart. So if you see this option, what will happen is the total will be matched to out of 100, which machine has the highest, right? So if you're in the book, almost same. If you go to pencil, as you can see, the orange machine is the least. If you go to pens, the blue machine has the least. If you go to book, maybe the purple machine has the least. Right? So likewise, it will break into, there are different kinds of charts. So you can try this chart. So that's why I ask you to add multiples, right? So this is this is based on the area. Okay, so if you have a really long proper distribution, so let me, this is wrong, but let me show you. If I put the machine name and the cost. Okay, cost is also same. Unfortunately, months. Man hours. Okay, so it's almost same for every record. So it is not coming properly. If not, for example, if machine A has the largest out of all, well, let's select an item. Okay, now you can see, right? So now you can see if you select a book here, the machine B has the highest, right? Highest out of the all the machines, sum of man hours. From the man hours, machine B has the highest. If you select here, it is changing, right? As you can see, it is changing based on the selection. But in the data set, it is based on just more like an average kind of a data set, right? So that's why if you take all the data, it is not coming a proper report, but if you take an individually, it might give you properly, it will have the records. So these things, different places, you might use these charts in different ways. Okay, I can't say, okay, in this point you have to use a chart like this or this and that. It is up to you. You have to define and decide when you have to use or when you can use different charts and different day-to-day work, right? So after that, let me readjust the sizes. And I'm going to put the legends down, bottom center, right. Okay, so this is one of the dashboards. Like I said, it is the right. Even if you I may show you few of you have shown. So this is one of you have done it, right? But okay, but actually this student he has published to the Power BI services and this screenshot is from there, I assume, which is good, right? You can try it now, right? This is one of the dashboards. If you see my dashboard, it is something else. Maybe you might say it is very ugly, right? And this is another dashboard, right? So different people build dashboards in different ways. Like I said, this is an art drawing. So you will be when you are building your own dashboard, it might be you might be using something different styles, okay, based on your preference, based on whom you are talking to. If your managers are very detail oriented, then you might put a lot of details here. If your manager wants to see on a high level, you are going to do a lot of talking, then you might reduce the words, and you might reduce most of the things, and then you might do a lot of other things as well. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to see how to do it at the country detail. Country details, it will a little bit tricky, guys. So you have to add the map here first, right? After adding the map, you have to select the country name properly. Okay, and there are some controls or limitations here. So, but the column name and the data that you have should be properly aligned, because in this map, we did not select where the USA is, where UAE is, where India is, where Sri Lanka is. Power BI did it for us. So in order to do that, we have to make sure that we are giving the names in the right order. Okay, so there are two maps. So this is one map and there's another map. This is another map. So in here it will be colored. You can zoom it. The whole country will be colored. So if you have, in case, if you have, so let's say this is okay. Okay, zooming out is a bit tricky here. If you have more detailed levels like zip code, country code, location, city, district, there's a format which you have to follow. There's a number of columns that you should have. If you have those things, then this also will be broken down into multiple areas. So if you have multiple areas, this will be broken down. And there are options which you can do map settings, whether you want the road map, dark, aerial. So let me show you a few options. Okay, these options are there, and then what kind of color fill you want to color fill based on the values. If you want to have, this is something which is more than that, which is a highlighted, something like this. So those kinds of things are there. But the important part is this is a little bit tricky because you should have the proper names and the proper details. Okay? And maps, when it comes to maps, there are two maps. This is the area map, so if you have it. And if you have the other one, the globe, if you select it, it will have the pointed out the map location. Okay. Okay. So I can zoom out, now zoom out. Is I think the minimum size. Likewise, you can add the map also. Okay. Right, guys, this is important. I want you to complete it and share the screenshot. So second class, I didn't, yesterday I didn't ask anybody to send it. I didn't know for the rule. So today I need the screenshot to make sure that you have completed this. If you have not completed, and if you want to try a bit more, I'll give you another 5 to 10 minutes. And then we will do a bit more, this data, a little bit more activity. Okay, so I'll mute and yes. If anybody, if you have any questions, you can ask or put a message in the chat. Then I will let you know.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Once we insert the visual, how we can remove it, sir? If we have done,
you have to use the keyboard and keyboard delete. Okay. From the select the visual and then just press the delete key. That's all.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You can change it. You mistakenly added a map, but you wanted the table. You can just click on the table and it will change. Okay. So maybe if you don't want to delete the same data, mistakenly you selected something else, you can change it. So if you want to area chart, which is not correct, country and let's say quantity. This is an area chart for each country. What is the quantity that you have? So something like this. If you want to convert it to a map, you can convert it to a map. So once you keep it, it will show you what is the quantity in each country. If you want to another map, the other one, it will show you what is the size comparatively, which one has more and which one has less. Because my data set has almost same value, so that's why it's showing you almost same bubble sizes. If you have a proper different values, then it will show you the bubbles properly. And again, if you have the district, cities, you can check in Google also how to configure a map. If you have the zip codes properly, then Power BI can go to the next level, and inside the country, they can break into multiple levels. Okay? But then again, it's not part of the syllabus. In syllabus, they're talking about a map in one plane, so it's not very detailed. So try these things, guys, and let me share your screenshots, and I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes to practice this. This is the important part, no? The visualization. It is very easy, but you have to get to know about these things. Okay. Sorry again, guys, I was talking on mute. Right. So I was explaining about in this scenario, right? The currency which is mentioned is AED, which is fine, right? But then here also everywhere it is AED. So once I realized that, I was thinking about what if now AED is in UAE, right? So maybe in that region. But what if the management wants to see the whole international report in dollars, right? Then we have a problem. The production report, if you are working in Sri Lanka and if the currency is Sri Lankan, then it will be in rupees. So in rupees, you will have millions. But management as a policy, they might see all the reports in a standard currency for the better comparison, international comparison. So we do comparisons. So in that case, what you can do is you can add another column, whatever the columns that you need in the second currency, you can do another calculated column and use that column to build your reports. Okay. Likewise, you can do certain workarounds to manage those currencies. Okay. In case, let's say this is actually the OMR, or let's say this is actually the dollars, but in your computer, because you're working in UAE, it is showing as AED. Then that is a problem, right? Let's assume that everybody sends their reports in dollars, but because of your local settings, it is not showing in AED. Then that is a problem. That is misleading. The management thinks, okay, we have 0.2 million dirham sales, but actually it is $0.2 million. In that case, we have to change the currency symbol. Okay, how to change the currency symbol? For example, if it is this one, I can select on the column. Okay, so it is already fixed decimal number and it is already a currency, right? From the dollar sign, I can go for the drop down and I can find how to find the rupees or any other currency. So all the currencies are here listed here. If you are in a region or if you are in a country, you can find the country currency. And for Sri Lanka, it is on the Sinhala. Yesterday also I told you it is on the Sinhala. We have the Ruyana sign as a currency. Yes. Okay, so somewhere here you should have a Ruyana, which is the Sri Lankan currency, right? Okay. So one person is asking how to add the map. So I'll show you one more time. But make sure, like I said, adding a map is a bit tricky. You have to have the correct names, right? So first I will add the map, the tile. I'll select a blank space and add the map. It will come like this. And then I'll select the country. Okay. Once I select the country and expand it, it will come. Now so here we have to show only the location. If I want to show some numbers or some visuals here, I can select it. What values I want. For example, I want some production quantity. So as you can see, India quantity is less, Sri Lanka is high, UAE is higher, then again USA is there. Okay. And you can have multiples also. For example, I want to have the cost and the quantity, both country, cost and quantity. So still, now if you keep the mouse, it will show you both the options. Okay. That's how you add it. If you want the second map, you can select this map and do it. Or if you want the first map, you can add the first map as well. Right. So then we will go to do the publishing as well, how we can do publishing. So let me sign out for the first time, like we are doing for the first time. We have to save our file. I'll go to publish. I'll give my email. Like I said, it should be a non-personal email. Now, while it is loading, don't click here and there. And if you know your PC, just give it a time. Because if not, it might crash. And you might have to, in case if you crash, I hope you know, you can open the task manager. Right click on the task bar. You can open the task manager. And it will come something like this. And you can end task this one. So end task. So this whole thing will be closed. Whatever is crashed, it will be closed. So you have to click on this and right click and click end task. As you can see, the memory, 63% of my memory is gone. And most of the things are gone for Power BI because it is a bit heavy. So all these services are run, right? In case if the PC is stuck, it's not working and it is because of the Power BI, one of the workaround that you can do is right click on the taskbar, go to Task Manager and find Power BI and right click and end task. End this task. So it will crash, whatever it is crashed, it will just close it off and then you can reopen it again. If that is also not working, everything is frozen, the whole Windows is crashed, then you might have to restart. Okay. So if you have a proper license, and then if you're using a licensed version, then it can have multiple workspaces. That means multiple department-based data or multiple region, or likewise you can have different dashboards. It's not a single dashboard, it's a collection of dashboards. One workspace is a collection of dashboards. Okay. Okay, now I'll select, so if your free account, it will have only one dashboard, so one space, so I'll select that space to publish. Okay, now I will open, either you can open from here, in case if you missed it. So the URL for Power BI is, you can open your browser, it is .powerbi.com. Okay, only this one. Okay, it's app.powerbi.com. If you're not, you can just directly click on the success message. If you directly click on the success message, it will be okay. If not, you have to click on, you have to go to this link and it will ask you to log into the same account and you can. So these are the previously uploaded ones. So if I go to my workspace here, I will have this is I think the day 3 report. Okay, I'll click on the day 3 report. Just like that. Okay, so in here, this is because the contact tenant administrator fixed it because I don't have certain limitation in my access rights. So the map is not showing to me properly. So I'll delete it. Edit and delete this and this. So now I'll go back to reading it. Right. So in here, I'll give you a small introduction to this as well. So this is again, it is not our desktop version. This is the web version, which is called the Power BI services. It's comes under apps.powerbi.com. Right. Now in here, what we have is this is for more into collaboration. Right. You can't ask somebody to log into your PC and work simultaneously, but if you have given access to, or if you have some people, multiple people, they have multiple licenses, then you can share this report with multiple people and you can work together like in Google Sheets or any other sheets which are online collaborative tools. So most of the tools are now, they have the web versions or online versions. So this is also something like that. In here, we have few options. So the menu options are here. For example, 5, this is to save and other things, right? So you can generate a QR code for this link so they can scan and open it. You can get some kind of a code. This is, we call it embedded code. If you have a company website or if you have a portal or SharePoint or somewhere, you can put this report there. Okay, so now this is only inside Power BI, right? We have the option to send this report to your company website as a public or private. You can, those options are also there. Manage permissions, you will not have it if you don't have a free account or unless you are an administrator. Only few options we have, whether people can access it, who can access, who can view. Those kinds of things are also there. Right? That is manage permissions. Download this file or save a copy. In export, we have an interesting option. So this is Excel Analyzer. PDF, it will give you just a PDF file. But if you go for embedded as an image, this will download as an image only, right? If you go to PowerPoint option and this, it will go download as an image. If you go to embedded live data, this is an interesting one. If you have a latest PowerPoint option or latest PowerPoint, it will give you a sheet like this. Might take 2 seconds. Right? So this is inside the Power BI, you have the these views. And this is not only view, it is a clickable or it is an embedded report. So for example, you are doing a presentation and you don't want to open your what do you call Power BI desktop application. You can use an embedded report along with some, let's say, welcome note and all the other things. It's just like a PowerPoint, but you can add more sheets and you can set up a theme and design. All the options are available. Okay. We can have a company design. Now you can do a presentation inside the PowerPoint. So if you publish, if you make it a presentable view, now we can do it. Okay, you can talk about the presentation. Okay, this is our company dashboard, and based on this, you can have all this information. You can tell the story. Okay, if you talk about Kamal has been sales like this. If you talk about Amal is doing like this. These things, so likewise you can talk. And if you want to talk about the books, and this is the sales of the books and all the departments. Now we have not opened Power BI. Okay, so this is PowerPoint, right? So that is the advantage of this PowerPoint inside Power BI, which is the embedded with closely embedded with Power BI and other options as well, right? Okay. And okay, this is the export option. Then sharing and collaboration. So it will open up a new view. You can set up the what kind of rights that you can see and whether they can do something. So you can set up those things. And embedded in apps, that means you can send it through Teams. If you are using Microsoft products, you'll have Teams. And export this data, this is more into Q&A, get inside. Subscribe to this report. That means other people can subscribe to this report, right? So if there is any changes, if there is any updates, any changes, then they will get notifications. And set alerts. So this is used, for example, if, for example, in here, if the quantity exceeded 150, you are interested in that. For example, then sum of quantity by day. If the sum of quantity becomes greater than 150, it is a, let's say, a good news or a bad news or some kind of a news. Then either you can get an email or Teams message, and what is the message set? You can set an alert. So this is some kind of an option that we have inside Power BI. Okay, right. And then so then this edit option, again, if you want to do some edits, same options will be available here as well. But this might feel a little bit slower than the Power BI desktop because it is on the web, and it has all the options which you have. Visual interactions are enabled, refreshers and everything is are there, but not very comprehensive like the Power BI desktop version. Okay. Okay, few more options whether these things are not related. Okay, you can pin it to the dashboard. So once you pin it to the dashboard, let's say create a new dashboard. Dashboard name is now we go to dashboard. This is more into without like a dashboard kind of a view. So if you have multiple pages, the pages will be here, and you can ask questions about it. There will be few questions. Natural language. What is the maximum quantity of these, and what is the total cost of products? Product A, then let's say pens or product name, pen. So it will give you some answers. So this is a work in progress version, which is based on the AI and machine learning. they're improving the natural language questions, right? So you don't have to do anything. So management costs are, what is the revenue? What is the total cost of book? It should be a book. So it's giving you the total cost of book. Likewise, you can ask questions and get it. And that is ask questions option. So those are the things that we have it in the Power BI services. This is a very it's like a out of the free version, whatever that I can do. But if you go to the paid versions, there are lots of other features. Power BI plan. Okay, so let me go to an image. So far, we are working on something like, okay, this is a very high level. So something like this. So Power BI desktop per license only unrestricted report sharing and 10 GB. But if you go for other things, you will have more options which you can utilize. And in here we have some more additional options. And there are more options which different websites are giving different views, but there are lots of options which you can use it in the additional version. Right. So that is about mostly about Power BI desktop, and I don't think you will be asked questions in this examination about mostly about these areas. And team is working on getting license for you. Unless we get that one, the publishing part will not be part of your exam scope. Right. Okay. Now, right. This is about the second data set. And let me open up since we have done, I think, 1 to 3 classes. Let me open up. Okay. So this is the textbook. I think you have these textbooks as well. It is, I think, compulsory as a prerequisite. You have to purchase this book from CMA. And I will go through this box and let's see what we have covered so far and what else we have covered. And like I said, there are 4 chapters. Chapter 1, it's about preparing data, visualizing, modeling, and deploying and maintaining assets. Right. In chapter 1, these are the learning outcomes. Okay, and you can read through, and we will go through the exam content, little by little. Right. So, introduction to advanced data analytics tools. So, this is not about Power BI. This is generally they are talking about the advanced data analytics tools. So, advanced data analytics tools is a sophisticated approach of analyzing and deploying different models, including machine learning, deep learning techniques, and business process automation too, and other statistical models. But we did not do any of these things because we are using one of the best tools, right? We were just doing click and drop, drag and drops and button clicks. And behind the scene in actual data analytics tools, these kinds of work are happening. For example, when we add the map is one of the good examples. When we add the map, we just said, okay, country name and the quantity. But Power BI knew where Sri Lanka is, where UAE is, and where America and India is. If you had properly broken down into the regions, zip codes and all, even the country will be broken down into multiple regions. Okay, that level of detail can be provided by these techniques. So they are using, the application is using predictive modeling, machine learning, and deep learning techniques, right? There are other tools, Tableau, Power BI and other tools are there. And even SAP has an analytics and Oracle has their own tool. Right. So these are the tools that there is in market. If you are not, let's say, happy with Power BI, you can even learn Tableau, or you can learn ClickSense and Power BI and other tools as well. And it is for non-technical users. So far, without any programming knowledge or learning about coding or learning about formulas, we were building lots of formulas, right? Lots of dashboards. So, and wide array of data sources are there. So it's not only from PowerPoint, it's not only from Excel workbooks. It's not only from CSV or PDF. We saw there are long list of data sources which you can take. And visualizations are there, sharing and collaboration features are there, and integration with Power BI, especially its integration with Microsoft products. So we saw how it is integrated with PowerPoint, right? Now, pre-processing data in Power BI is a crucial task, right? Now we know why, and ensuring the accuracy, reliability, efficiency. Now we even did some examples. So when you don't have the proper data processing, the visualizations will be wrong. We saw that there was one visualization where we had numbers, but it was not correct. But once we changed it to a text, it was coming as accurately, and it gave you proper visuals. So those kinds of things are there. And in the first day, we discussed about why it is important. So the quality of data improved, data integration is improved, normalization, standardization, handling missing data, feature engineering, transforming for analytics, performance optimization, and visualization. So those kinds of things are there, right? Okay, then we are introducing Power BI. So it's Microsoft tools. Okay, it's an interactive platform for data visualization. Interactive means it is not coding based, it's not typing based, it is interaction. You click the mouse, use the mouse in order to get a lot of things. Where a variety of data sources, connect, transform, model, and create compelling visualization. So this is what we do in Power BI. Right. Collaboration and sharing, real-time data analytics, so those kinds of things are importance of Power BI. It's monitoring performance indicators, KPI tracking. Okay, so this is what we discussed about when we are talking about setting alerts. Right? So you can set alerts, and based on the KPIs, performance, financial metrics, so you can get understanding about the different alerts based on the different behaviors. Also, you can set certain other things as well within the visualization. You can do some controls to see how we can do, how we can get some indication for KPIs. Now, Power BI is it has 4 steps: prepare the data, explore, visualize, and share and collaborate. So prepare means you get the data from a variety of data sources, and then you have to build, cleanse the data, and do visualization, and you can do sharing. Now they are talking about what is data preparation. It's a long list of they are discussing about these things that we have already discussed during the class. So data transformation is a pivot stage, conversion, cleansing, and structuring. That is what we call it. So different terms are used, and it's refining data using Power Query Editor. We know about Power Query Editor now. It used to refine data before their integration into the dashboards. So before you build dashboards, you have to refine data using Power Query Editor. Okay. Okay, selective choose and columns and rows, pivoting, non-pivoting, and what are the additional things? So changing data types, removing unnecessary columns, renaming tables, filling empty values, splitting columns, and refining column headers. So all these things we have already covered. So then we have about loading data. So we know about how to load data. You have to go to get data and load data. Okay, and then we can do relationship model, create columns using DAX formula. Somebody asked me about this. In the next class, we will do DAX. So far, we did not start this one. We will do the DAX in the next class. Okay. Now, after this, there is more into the screenshot. So they are giving you some screenshots to step-by-step guides. Okay, so this is about a home screen or the Power BI screen, and then you have to go here, click get data, and then you have to browse the data, and you have to click transform. So these all things I hope you know by heart. And then change the data type. For some reason they have directly gone to change the data type. Now we know how to do data type change. So either you can click here and then use these options, or directly you can click on the next to the column name to select the data type. Load additional data sets, so you can load integration with multiple data. That means it's not only one type of data sort, we can use multiple types. So we did PDF and multiple Excel files as well. So we can load the data type, review the data, and then perform certain actions. So we know rename, we know remove, handle missing and duplicate value. Merging we did, appending we did not do, we will do it. Okay. Handling data types, Combine and join tables. So this also we did. Transform and visualize errors handling and preview and apply changes. So these kinds of things which we already covered. So they are again taking a data from a query. Okay, taking data from a folder. This also we will do it in the next class along with appending queries. Okay, so along with appending, we will take data from multiple fold data and then we will discuss that. We will go through this and combine and transform. We will do this part. Then they are talking about changing data types, removing columns, renaming tables. So this is, I think it should be renaming columns. It's not renaming table. So you can rename the columns. Filling empty values. So this also we will discuss in the next class. Okay. And then other two data sets, we will discuss about these two columns. Fill option. Splitting columns based on delimiters, which we already discussed. Renaming. Splitting columns. Provide the delimiter. Remove unwanted rows. Then remove blank rows and remove error rows. Remove duplicate rows. All those things we can do. Designate the first row as the header. So this also we discussed how to promote the first row as header or designate the first row as the header. Transpose data, this we discussed with the employee details. And in here, they have not given you why you have to do it, right? Rather than how to doing it. But when you realize why you are doing it, it is very easy to remember. Okay, when you want to switch columns and rows and how to identify it, you have to identify by looking at the data. If in a one column, if you have multiple data types and in one row you have the same data type, it is more suitable to switch the rows and columns by using transpose option. Appending queries, this we discussed. In this option, they are using more than two tables, so it is giving you like this, but it is also the same way. Okay, filling up the null value. So here we have the null values should be displayed as USA. Again, we know how to do. Then we have the conditional column, which we discussed today. We did 3 options. Okay, disable loading. This is also part of it. Once you merge 2-3 columns together, there's no need to load everything again and again. So you can disable the loading. Okay, view query dependencies. I will show you now. View query dependencies. Again, we have only one data source here. Okay, let's check in the next class. So, because we have only one table, we need to get at least 2-3 tables, and then we'll check the query dependencies, which will make more sense. Okay. We need more tables there. And this also we'll discuss in the next class. Then now you can save and transform your data. This is save and close. And it will load, and this is the chapter summary. That is about chapter 1. Chapter 1 is almost like half of the syllabus. So we have covered almost everything except for folders, appending, and query dependencies, which we have to do it in the next class. Now, talking about visualization, again, a small theory part about visualization. Visualization is also very important. It is to interpret the data that you have using it. So it's representation of the information, it's interactivity, it is about storytelling, it's about real-time analytics and customization. Okay, both technical and non-technical users can do this. Right. So forget about technical users. Non-technical users can build dashboards now. Right. So based on the available options. Developing a dashboard. Okay, it's about general text. And this is a dashboard example. Loading a data into then they are talking about report view. What is a report view? Yeah, you have drag and drop options. And the key features of the report view is you can apply filters, focus analysis, and a couple of things are there. Then we have a table view where you can spreadsheet like data representation, you can see the data. Okay? This is only to see, you can't do any edits here. Okay, so there is report view, table view, and query view. Even in this option, as you can see, guys, so this is not an old version. Now, this is even if you have last month, you have 3 options here. But if you see a new version, which I downloaded this month, it has another option here as well. Okay, that means the Power BI is improving day by day. They are giving you new options day by day, but we will stick to the course content and we will work on our area, right? Okay, so then one of the things is setting up a background image. So this we know how to do that. We can put watermarks and theme, everything, and how to do that. Okay, so by default, this transparency is 100, so you have to change the slider transparency to make it visible. Then you have to use the text box. You have to use a maybe image for these kinds of things. You can clustered column chart. We discussed cards. You can drill down, so you can enable the drill down options. Quarter-wise, month-wise figures, you can go drill down. For example, click here. Then adding donut chart. Again, donut chart is nothing but just a visualization. Okay. For example, instead of this, I can use a donut chart. All right. Using country map, here they have given a country map option. Okay. But they have not given details, but we know how to do the detailed country maps. The slicer tool, that is also important for exam. Adding a smart narrative. Smart narrative you can add at the end. So it will give you this option. All right. Show what it can build based on the data it should be able to build. Now it will give you what are the highlights of your data. Okay. That means it says the sum of quantity trends up, resulting 52% increase between Monday and Tuesday. Right. So it will give you a narrative. It will give you a indication. It will give you a story. You can tell a story. You can use this one to get an idea about your data. Right. There's no way we wrote any of these things by analyzing this data. That's why I said about using predictive modeling, analysis, machine learning, and deep learning techniques to build these kinds of narratives. So book in machine name B made up of 13% of the sum of the cost. Okay. So machine A books are making the highest cost. So if you have, let's say, like reasonable data, you have your own data, and if you do a smart narrative, you can understand these things more. For example, this one, Kamal accounted for 36% of the sum of cost. Let's say if it is revenue, Kamal is the highest revenue. Likewise, this is a smart narrative. That means it will give you a story about your data. So then you can change the appearance of the object, how you can see those data and publish it. So that's it about it. So in here, I don't think we have missed anything in the chapter 2. Yeah, in chapter 2, we have fully covered, but still we will do more about in this area. So this is about publishing it and putting it in a dashboard. Okay. And again, this should be chapter 3. They have marked what it as. Okay, this is end of chapter 2, then chapter 3. In chapter 3, we have some, we will discuss about this one in the next class. So this part, measure, calculated column, we have completed it. Measure and parameter is a bit tricky part, so we will do it in the next class. Okay. Yeah, so this we will complete it in the next class. Right. Let me show you one more thing. Getting data from a folder, right? So we have another. Any questions, guys, up to now? So if not, I will show you how to get data from folder and pending part, so we can complete the chapter 1 also. Any questions, guys? If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, let's take the data from a folder. So same option. So we are going to get data. I'm going here and I'm going to select folder. So I have to give the folder path. So that is normal, right? So again, I'll show you. I can get data, folder, connect. And I will select browse. Now I have to give the folder path. I'm going to browse. And I'm going to select the production table. If you remember, in the production table, I think we had 3 data sets, 3 data files. Okay, likewise, we have 3 data files, so we will take all these data to a single folder. As you can see, once I click here, I cannot no longer see the files inside. So that means all the files will be selected. So I have to click OK and click OK. So don't click anything, so just wait for some time in order to get the data. So after this, it should tell you, okay, inside this folder, you have all these files. Okay. Now you can see it will give you only the file name. So we have a background JPEG file, and then 3 more January, February, March files. There are date creator, then some other options for them. So if you, okay, so let's go to transform date. Okay. Once you go to the transform data, still you can't see your data here. Okay, so this is not my data file. So this is not my data. These are my files, right? For example, this is Excel, 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 but I can't see my data here. Okay, right. What you have to do is now you have to select what are the files that you want from this folder. For example, with this file, we can't do anything, right? Okay. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter and remove the file. So there are multiple ways. So if you have lots of JPEG and different files, and if you want only the Excel, so I can unselect all, and then I can select only the Excel file and click OK. Now it is only selected the Excel file, right? In case if your file has only Excel and there is no other files, no need to do this step. Okay, it should be like a common sense. So you have to, if there are any other files, you have to unselect them. If it is only the Excel files, you can select. Not only that, even if you want, let's say I have 5 files, but I want only January and February, that is also possible. Okay, or I want the files which have been created this month only. Date created should be, let's say, between this. So these options I'm not going to explain because this is exactly the Excel one. So I don't think I need you to explain these things. So you can select these things and then you can select the files within the period. Or you can go for the folder path also. So still you can do some formatting here. I can split the text to columns and I want to know only in this folder. Let's say you have multiple folders in there and you want to select only one subfolder. You can select that subfolder. So purpose of this section is to select what are the files that you are going to work on. So I'm going to select all these Excel files which I need. Now, remember guys, you have to click on this content where you have this button. Click on this column, and as you can see, the combine files option will be enabled. If you click somewhere else, it is disabled. Okay. See, if you select anywhere else, it is disabled. You have to click on this column, and then now the combine file option is enabled. Now, if you click on the combine file here or here, both options are same. Power BI will do its magic and give you the data in one Excel file. It's taking some time to load, so don't. Right now, we have February here, we have January here, and we have March here. So all the data files, we have it in our Excel files. Right? So after this, it is so in this case, guys, ignore this this set of data. So this is because you took the data from somewhere else, so it has some steps there. Ignore that, and you work only on these two columns, right? So this is the old file, which is old data that we are working on. And this is the new set of data that we are working on. Now all the data files are combined and consolidated together as a single file. So January data is here, February data is here, March data is here. If you see the files here, so we have January, February, and March data. All the data we have it here. Okay, so February, March, and in between we should have January also. Okay, January, the date is null, right? So in that case, it is not null. So likewise, that is how you take the data from the folder. So let me show you one more time. I'll not save this. Without explaining, I'll just quickly show you. So you might grab it fast. Discard the changes. Production, okay, discard. Okay, now I'm going to get data from folder, connect. I'll give the folder path. Even I can give you the whole folder as well, but still every file inside this will come, and then I have to reselect whatever the file that I need and unselect everything else. That is also no problem with that, no problem, no issues with that. Okay. Click OK. I can't click combine because there is a JPEG file. If I click combine here, it will give me an error message. See, we cannot recognize the background image of JPEG because this is not shows here Excel file. Right? So then it will give you. If you don't have the PDF file or the image file, you can directly combine and load. Okay? Since we have it, so the reason I put it there so I can show you the additional steps. I can go to transform. I will select the proper file. So let's say I will ignore this JPEG file. I'll click here, or click on this column and click combine file. Both the same. Now it will evaluate the code. It's not closed, it has gone behind the screen. It is here, like this. So this is how we get the data from a folder. Okay. So next class we will talk about how we can append multiple queries together or multiple tables together. We'll use the same data set, maybe another 5-10 minutes. And by then we will be able to complete the first two chapters fully. That doesn't mean that we will not do any, these things again. We will do these things along with the other things. This is just to give you a confidence that we have covered. We are covering the syllabus. So if you will have the confidence to apply the exam, and I request you guys do the exam April as soon as possible. So we're doing the if you did not register now, then if you like it late, maybe if the seats are full or something, then you might have to wait for the other month where you might forget certain things and you might have to watch all the recordings again, which will be a fill for you. Okay, so I want you to practice that or practice or go through the sessions and participate actively, and then we'll sit for the exam this month. Right. Regarding the recordings, a couple of you have asked me. So I received an email from CMA. I thought they have sent me the recording list for me to send it. So that's why I said I didn't read the email fully. So I thought it's usually they send an email with the name list for send the recording to the students. But today again they asked me some more information, which I will provide it. And based on that, they said tomorrow they will analyze the records, analyze the reports. They will confirm about the attendance and the who will receive the email. So that will be a separate email, and whoever CMA is confirming, I will send the according to those email addresses. By tomorrow, you will receive it. So over the weekend, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before the next class, you can practice it. In the next class, we will try to do a little bit more about the other two files, and we will talk about these two files. And then we will go for the our final data set, which is, as you can see, it has more data, more files, and it has an activity sheet also. Maybe you can try this at home, but we will do this one in the class, right? Along with that activity sheet, we will try those. After completing that, based on the availability, maybe after, so that will be again after the holidays, or I don't know, Sunday before the holidays. After the holidays, we will try to do, maybe finish this, and then we might have 2 more classes. We will do the mock exams, and we will have a good holiday season, and then you can write out everything and we can practice those things. Right. Any questions, guys? So still we don't have full house, so only 20 participants out of 24 from the batch. Not sure where the others are. Okay. Any questions? Any concerns? Any doubts? Any comments? If you have, I think I replied to everybody from the chat. And I did, I hope. So somebody asked, publishing report is part of the exam. They are working on getting license for you. So once they get the license, then we will do some practice, and then publishing exams will be part of your scope as well. Okay. Anything else? Any questions, comments? Right. Whoever did not send the last 2 sessions, make sure to send me the screenshot, right? So this is not important, but the next one is very, very important. If you want to get my feedback, then let me know. Send me the screenshot, then I will advise you if there is anything that you can improve or whatever the changes that you have to do. Or if I can see whether you have made any mistakes, I will help you, right? But the next exam, the next data set is very important, where you have to actively participate and send me the screenshots, which I will be updating. Okay. And that's it, guys. So let me stop the recording, and if you have